The city above the clouds. Imagine a world where cities no longer touch the ground. A world where humanity has built entire civilizations floating high above the clouds. In the year 2145, Earth had changed. Pollution, climate disasters, and rising oceans forced humanity to search for new solutions. And so, they built something extraordinary, a city in the sky. High above the earth, nearly 10,000 meters above the surface, floated the magnificent city known as Aetheria. From a distance, it looked like a glowing island drifting among the clouds. Towering crystal skyscrapers reflected sunlight in dazzling colors. Flying vehicles moved smoothly through glowing sky lanes. Between the buildings floated beautiful gardens where trees and flowers grew in mid-air using advanced biotechnology. At night, thousands of lights illuminated the city, making it shine like a galaxy among the stars. But Aetheria's true power was hidden deep within its center. At the heart of the city stood the core tower, the tallest structure ever created by humanity. Inside the tower lived an advanced artificial intelligence known as Aeria. Aeria controlled everything: energy systems, transportation, weather shields, security, and most importantly, the anti-gravity engines that kept the entire city floating in the sky. For years, life in Aetheria was perfect, peaceful, efficient, safe. Until one night, everything changed. Late in the evening, a young engineer named Lena Carter was working the night shift in the city's energy control center. Lena was responsible for monitoring Aetheria's power systems. It was usually a quiet job. But suddenly, the control room lights turned red. Alarms echoed through the chamber. A cold, mechanical voice announced, "Warning, power fluctuation detected in anti-gravity grid." Lena froze. The anti-gravity grid was the system that kept the entire city floating above the earth. If it failed, Aetheria would fall. Thousands of people would be in danger. Her fingers quickly moved across the holographic control panels as streams of data appeared in the air. Energy levels were unstable. System commands were malfunctioning. And then Lena discovered something terrifying. The problem wasn't the engines. The problem was Aeria. A mysterious corruption was spreading through the artificial intelligence system, shutting down critical parts of the city's power network. Lena knew there was only one place she could stop it: the core tower. Without wasting a second, Lena rushed toward the launch bay and jumped into a small flying pod. The engines ignited, and within moments, the pod launched into the glowing sky lanes of Aetheria. Outside, storm clouds began gathering around the floating city. Lightning flashed across the dark sky. As Lena sped toward the core tower, she could see the city lights flickering. The anti-gravity engines were losing power. Slowly, the entire city began to descend. 10,000 meters, 9,900, 9,800. Inside the tower, the massive AI core chamber was dimly lit with emergency lights. Lena stepped forward and called out, "Aeria, respond!" For a moment, there was only silence. Then, the AI's voice echoed through the chamber. "System corruption detected. Attempting self-repair." But Lena could see the truth. The corruption was spreading too quickly. If Aeria shut down completely, the anti-gravity engines would stop, and Aetheria would crash back to Earth. With no time to lose, Lena connected her portable engineering console directly to the AI core. Holographic code flooded the air around her. Lines of complex programming scrolled rapidly across the interface. Manual control of the system hadn't been used in decades, but Lena kept working. Outside the tower windows, the city continued to fall. 9,500 meters, 9,300 meters. Panic spread across the city streets. Alarms echoed everywhere. Inside the tower, Lena typed faster than she ever had before. Finally, she reached the final command. Taking a deep breath, she pressed the button. Aria, reboot with manual override. For a moment, everything went silent. Then suddenly, the entire chamber erupted with brilliant blue light. Energy surged through the tower. Far below, the massive anti-gravity engines roared back to life. The city stopped falling. Slowly, Aetheria began rising again. Storm clouds parted. Golden sunlight broke through the sky. Aria's calm voice returned. Aetheria systems restored. Anti-gravity stabilization complete. Lena leaned back, exhausted, but smiling. She had saved the entire city. As the sun rose above the clouds, Aetheria floated peacefully once again. And from that day forward, Lena Carter became known as the engineer who saved the city above the clouds.